Welcome, jewelers. Welcome all. Thank God it's Thursday, baby. We are back with another episode here of the Crypto Talk Show with the jewelers, baby. My name's Mega, joined by T Heat. T, how are you doing, my brother?
Yes, sir, dude. Since while we were waiting for everything to play in, since I last chatted with you moments ago, I refreshed and saw I won not one, but two honk raffles.
Oh, we love
So I'm
it.
doing great. I'm loving it. I'm
Metis?
loving it.
Little
Yeah,
Metis?
now honk. Both
Honk?
of them honk.
Honk
Both
will
of them
do.
honk.
We'll take that honk home to the bank.
Immediate delivery. We like that, man. I
Yes,
got a
sir.
Metis
Yes, sir.
waiting for me still too. So yeah, it's a good day. We're happy about that. I'm excited to be here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. They gave us more good stuff in the AMA today, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
A
yes,
lot of
sir.
good alpha, bro. Some I wasn't expecting. Um, Tournaments alpha, boys and girls. I'm excited. I'm gonna kind of jot out what I remember, but you might have remembered even more. There was a good bit. They talked on some stuff within the server as well in terms of fee distribution and how they might go about some of those things, which is really cool. Daily tournaments, 2 a day minimum when they kick off, and you can
hmm
win entries into other ones, right? Like,
Right. So the way it was pitched was basically two tournaments a day, different time slots to allow people, different areas of the world. Because, like K Jettles just said down here, it's already Friday in the EU. So thank God it's Friday for them. But yeah, so you're gonna have two tournaments a day, and then they were saying that you're gonna win not just what I would assume to be Jewel or Metis prizes, but also another token that will grant you access into a different tournament. And you win that tournament, and then you get to go to the next tournament, and so on and so forth. So, a whole bunch of tournaments planned, and it was interesting too, man. There was, I don't know if you caught it, but they said that those tokens that you win, if you do win a tournament to get you in the next tournament, some of them you'll be able to sell, some of them won't be transferable. So that's kind of interesting too. There's a lot of things that they kind of sprinkled in real casually today.
yeah, I was shocked by the amount of alpha, dude. It was a sudden splurge of it, and bro, I mean, the idea that you can sell some of these, championship spots. I don't know if they're championship, all star, like whatever
Right.
category they are, but it'll save somebody else time who wants to compete, wants to play for the big money tournament, but maybe didn't have the time to put in, each and every day for the daily. So I love that
Well,
factor.
right. And they also said that like some of these tournaments will give loot drops as well. So that'll be interesting. Maybe this is like some real exclusive, some really awesome loot only tournament. The top five get top three get it. I don't know. We'll see what they have in store for us. I have no idea because they're always full of these surprises. But the loot will be big on it too. I'm excited. And speaking of loot, we also got the first of the mythic
Ooh.
patrols drop out there.
Oh yeah, that was
So,
beautiful stuff. I think we got a picture in the Discord, so I'm gonna go pull that up for us. Talk a little bit about the effect. How do you? I mean, this is huge stuff for an item to have an active effect. Something you're wearing. You could theoretically have a few extra moves in your arsenal.
right. Right. It'll be interesting, man, because yeah. So it gives you, if anyone hasn't seen, it gives you the Devourer, right? That's what it's called, Devourer.
Here we go. I'm gonna pull it up
Um,
for you, and it's on the screen for the good people. Gain
perfect,
ability
perfect.
devour, cowl
Right.
of eternal hunger.
Here we go. Yes, that thing looks pretty sweet too. I want to see it equipped, but yeah, basically Devour gives you an attack that's 1.3 attack, and they did clarify that it's not spell, it's attack, so it's the same for physical damage versus magical damage. So that's good. You don't have to use it just on like a priest or seer. And yeah, and then you get lifesteal off of it. I believe 50% lifesteal, which
Damn.
is pretty drastic.
That's pretty big. I mean, that's a fat effect. It's only once a game, of course. It is inactive,
hmm
but in patrols, I don't know how it works yet. But if it's anything like how your active and passive traits reset, theoretically, you would get another charge after
Right.
each round. in between
I would
each
think
trait?
so in patrols. You would think because they basically said it works just like an active, which teaser we're going to talk about traits in patrols because I think it's a big topic. But
Yes.
that's going to be a good chunk of our segment later. But yeah, this is the first item that gives you a new active ability, and it sounds like it works the exact same. You get one-time use. I know that they did tease that pet bonuses will have some extra similar like active abilities you'll get, but this is the first time we've actually seen it in game. So
Right, and it's exactly what you're saying. Probably a test experience. Limit it at a smaller scale. Get one item in rather than all the pet bonuses, which might have a few of those actives you're talking about, or whatever you may call it. Another ability in game, realistically, which is really
right.
cool. Big shout out to the chat. We see Toon Fed, Honkman himself, Germ Curry, Jettles. Friday in EU is crazy, T. We might have to rethink the title, bro. No,
Thank
Luther.
God it's today, bro. That's actually
Right.
what we're going
Hey,
with.
that's even better. That's pretty good. Each and every day of the week, you could say it.
Yes, sir.
Luther Vanderose. What's up, chat? What's good, Luther? And Digital Sniper. Let's go, baby. So, hella cool people in the chat and a few dwellers, roamers, or whatever you may have. But Call of
Lurkers.
Eternal Hunger,
Yeah.
I'm super excited about this. I wish, I'm hoping I can snag one of these mythics myself. I'm really still pulling for an Excalibur too, bro. I need one in the arsenal, but
Bro, I need an Excalibur too. I don't have one. I did get my first Bach helm um, like this past week. That was a sweet drop. I was pretty pumped when that came through. Um, but yeah, I want one of these. Like I've definitely been hitting some patrols, and it makes me wonder what that next one's going to be. Because is it going to give you another ability? Is it going to be something brand new we haven't seen, or is it just going to be another cool mythic item similar
right.
to I don't know. We'll see.
We'll
We
see.
don't know.
It is confirmed mythic, but we don't know where it is. Maybe some people are locking in on it. But regardless, patrols are huge. T-Heat. That leads us into our next topic, patrols traits. Now we're going to quickly gather and go through the previous tier list we did, rapid fire. These were from August, T. These were from a while
Right.
ago, August 8th of 2024, last year. And these were, again, sometimes at a time, rather, when we didn't have patrols, obviously. We had PvE at a limited scale. And
Right.
did we have
I think
PvP?
this was I believe they dropped this because didn't they drop trades right at the start of PvP when they
Right.
first
Okay.
released
Yeah.
it?
So yeah, traits kind of
Right.
coincided with it. So we had limited PvP knowledge for sure. So,
Yeah, I think when we did the ranking that we had pretty much not used any of these. Very if we have played, it would have been very limited, and I think same thing like maybe one PvP match, you know. So
right. So
I think right. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. So we'll just jump straight into it, I guess, and then we'll lead into
Right.
patrols here.
Right.
So just the only S tier trait that we thought passively was Second Life. We're gonna get into it again. This is PvP, some of which PvE, but what we're gonna be doing next is
Right.
solely patrols. A tier we
Right.
had Giant Slayer, Intimidation, Leadership. Okay. B tier Foresight, Last Stand, Efficient. Kind of looks good so far. I'm not gonna lie. Toxic, Clutch, Headstrong in the C tier, and then Duelist, Clear Vision, Stalwart, Chatterbox, and Fearless. Cool. All right, so why don't we save the actives for when we actually get to actives? We'll
Okay.
just recreate this tier list
Right.
and jump straight into it, T.
I do feel, and I guess it is worth mentioning, there have been, I guess, a little bit of, well, I guess Giant Slayer's really maybe the only one that has had a major changes to it, right? Since we originally did this, I guess all of the like Stalwart, Chatterbox, all of those, they give you resistance to a certain status effect. Those also got a little bit of a change where it used to be like a flat 35% resistance. Now it's like 32.5%. resistance to whatever it is specifically, and then just like 2.5% resistance to everything for what it's worth. So small changes. I don't feel like we're gonna have much difference here. I don't know if my opinions have changed too much on the passives. I do feel like actives, I'm gonna have quite a bit of difference. I don't remember what we had, to be honest, but I just feel like my opinions have changed. So
You know, I could see that. I kind of organized it here for us. So there's no really indication of what tier they are, which would be nice. Even just like maybe like a little star, regardless,
Right.
it doesn't matter. Or 4 stars for Exalted. But here's Exalted Second Life. Why don't we go from the bottom up? So we'll start with the basic traits. Are you cool with that?
All right, and again, reminder: we're thinking about specifically on this ranking. We're thinking about patrols and things that matter for that, right? So I feel like if we're starting at the bottom, things that I don't care about for patrols too much, like duelist. I don't think I really care too much about that. Clutch, probably not too much about that. Stalwart, because I don't think you can get poisoned, right? No, I don't believe poison's an effect.
I do know there is more effects for sure in patrols than say, you know, PvE overall.
Right.
Like there's more just things that these mobs can do to us, but I don't think there's a poison.
Right. I know you can get blinded. I know you can get silenced. I know you can get hit with fear. And then days, depending on which, and I guess all of those are kind of depending on which tier you're doing. But let's just assume you might face any of the enemies for this ranking. But yeah, I don't believe poison is one that you can get hit with. So I feel like for this specifically, Stalwart is probably the one is probably lowest for me because
I like it. Good call out. We'll stick to 5 tiers as well. Instant D tier for poison resistance, especially since there's none. And you know, the way you frame this, it almost makes me feel, and we'll go through the rest of the basics as well. But it almost makes me feel like this is in a tier of its own. Like it's that bad. You know what I mean? If there's none, if we're sticking to patrols here, I think that's only right. So maybe we'll kind of jump to the C.
Put an F tier.
Or we add an F. I don't. How do I quickly? Because I think we can do that. Do I go like this?
Yeah, because I mean,
below. Here we go. So honestly, T.
Let's do that.
We're gonna name this the F tier, Ultra Red.
You're doing nothing for me, man. You're doing absolutely nothing for me, Stalwart.
Yeah, so I'm with you there. How do I save this? All right, it's gonna save as new. It won't let me. All right, so that is Ultra F tier. Let's get back to business here and take a look at some other basics. So I think I have it right here. This is actives. We're on passives. So basic duelist 1v1, always an okay trait. I think we'll keep it in mind.
It does give you a little bit of extra block, which is nice.
Okay, you get block now.
2.5% block.
Damn,
yeah.
Okay, that's not bad at all. Clutch, a little bit of extra damage when you're below percent health. If any of these are different, this might be an old list. Just let me know.
No, I'm looking at I don't.
Foresight evasion is just always nice, I think, regardless. All right, and then here's the effect ones. So Stalwart's already gone. Silence, fear, blind, and daze. You can kind of probably categorize them all together. I don't know. Is there a daze though from these enemies?
Yeah, you can get dazed by I think by the shoulder bump. I know that there's one that dazes you because it just happened to me.
Okay, so
we can put that one low though, because I don't feel like it. I know I'm always getting hit with blind by those little octopus things. That's
blind
annoying.
Is awful. Potion every time.
Right, and then fear. You get hit with fear a lot on the 3rd tier with the ones that drop the little mythic cloak, the little ghouls.
Yeah. How long is fear though? Like
fear's like 2 turns, and you can't do.
Bad.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't like getting hit with fear.
Okay, so that's at least C tier. I'm thinking about adding headstrong or maybe not. It was at least C tier, but does headstrong belong in D or F, bro?
I would say D.
Okay.
I would honestly say duelist. I would put in D tier. and headstrong.
Duelist, just because it's so rare you're in a 1v1.
Right.
Clutch is maybe a little better. Do you think it's worthy a C? Just a little bit better than Duelist? Because, I mean, every game, theoretically, if your hero might die, it's going to drop below 30%. It's not that bad, but I don't know. What do you think? Is it D or C for you?
It's down there.
D?
It's D.
I think a lot of these are going to fall in D then.
Especially, okay,
Except
again.
Foresight.
Again, if we're talking, and I guess it depends on the way that you set up your teams a little bit, but I normally have my guys pretty high health the entire time. My HP is never an issue during patrols. So like clutch, never really happening. Unless I'm in a bad situation, bro.
All right, so somehow they put F all the way up here, so we're going to move F tier all the way back down. We're going to throw Stalwart back in there. Purple tier is mythic, we'll call it. Beautiful.
Oh, hey, that does work, actually.
That works. Do you agree with me that Foresight is at least C tier? Evasion, I like.
Yes, I do like Foresight.
Leave it in
I'm right
C
there.
At least for now. Let's get Chatterbox or Fearless out of here. Or Clear Vision.
I would say I would go
D for all of them, right?
Man, I would be okay with, honestly,
maybe C.
I think I'd be okay with bumping Foresight up to B and then going C for all three of the
for the ones that are a little more often.
Right.
Kind of balance this chart out a little better.
Clear Vision.
I like it. So now we're all the way up here. Clorox wipes. They don't sponsor us, so just so you guys know, neither does this damn movie. But let's see. Efficient, leadership, intimidation, and toxic. The advanced boys. I have to leave it up to you on toxic because I feel like I have 0 toxic heroes, or at least I never use it. I never hit it, so I'm biased there.
Look, so we'll get to this a little bit when it comes to talking actives and Poison Blade. I do have some toxic heroes that I use and patrols actually that it does hit. It doesn't do much for you. Like
the tick is slow at low levels. I noticed that in a level 1 bout today.
Right.
PvP. Like the tick is very weak.
So right. So I would put a B, honestly.
Toxic falls in a B. Okay.
Right.
I like it. All right. I love the rest of these. Intimidation, leadership, efficient. Again, we'll quickly just go back to the chart here. Toxic just gives you a small chance to apply poison. It's really, really small. T, do you have the accurate number of what it is now?
Yes, I do. Let me scroll down. It is a 3%. 3%. So each hit gains 3%. Yeah. So better on a archer or a warrior.
Right.
But dude, I got it on a priest and it lands.
That's crazy. I mean, the percent feels so small, but when it hits, it probably does feel rewarding. In higher level, PvP or boss fights, poison does tick up fast, but it is just one potion away for PvP, and it's healed up. What's good, Rabbit? What's good, Dags? Good to see you, brother. All right, so let's move into intimidation, efficient, and leadership. Start with intimidation. Enemies deal 5% less. You can't buff this up past 15% team-wide and have multiple intimidations. You can have up to 15%, but no more. Efficient is great for low mana consumption. Kind of nice in patrols for this grindy dungeon-style gameplay. I like it.
It is. I find that I think that that's more important for patrols than it is in any other gameplay right now.
Yeah.
Because you got to kind of be a little bit more mindful of your MP. It depends a little bit on how you play and what your codex is. Like I find a knight if you just hit Mighty Strike over and over again, you're gonna run out of mana pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Right. Last advanced here in this tier, leadership. Allies deal 5% bonus damage. And this also cannot exceed that 15% mark. Are those numbers still accurate? 15% is the Sealing.
Those are right. Those are accurate. It is no longer called Intimidation. This is definitely like
Oh
the first
right.
release of this. It's
Oh,
Menacing now.
menacing.
Yeah.
I
So
like it better.
Dags asked, "Did this shit get updated?" Yeah, this
This
is
is
old,
old,
but
probably. Send me what you
um,
got, bro. I'm looking at
you got to go
old
to.
newspaper
I
here.
think I dropped it in our chat, bro. Go
Look,
check
good
Discord.
looks. Thank you.
It's the combat page. Yeah, on the docs. Scroll down to the bottom. Very bottom's got the updated numbers. But yeah, look, I like efficient a lot. I think it's one of the ones, like I said, for patrols gets kind of the biggest boost as far as like it's a little bit longer of a game if you're going all 3 levels, and the fact that your MP recharges, yeah, that efficient. I feel like I feel it a little bit more in that format, and then I always love leadership and no longer intimidation, but menacing. Same, whatever.
Menacing.
Intimidation sounds cooler still, so we'll stick with that.
Yeah, at first I hated the change, but I almost forgot about it, to be honest. But
Well, you know what they did is they still have intimidation as something in the game, but it's now like you get intimidated, whereas menacing is like a constant effect.
oh, that makes more sense. Okay, beautiful. All right, so let's
Right.
place these bad boys.
I put them all A.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
But maybe we have to edit something here because I don't know. I
Right.
think unless I kind of agree, these are all maybe not Last Stand actually. Giant Slayer is great. Last Stand could be, but we're talking patrols. I got to remember that. We're talking
Right.
patrols. Second
We're
Life,
talking patrols.
instant S tier. I mean, it's just a beautiful trait.
Look, to be honest with you, we're talking patrols. I mean, yes, do that. Second Life is definitely a head and shoulders above anything. Now, I feel like it's honestly Giant Slayer, Last Stand are also A tier for patrols. And
Oh,
hear me out. Here's why I think this. I already laid out how efficient leadership and intimidation are all nice. Those are things that are always in effect. Whereas Giant Slayer, especially since the new nerf, you have to have 50% less HP than whoever you're going up against. And a lot of times the opponents don't have very much HP. So you would have to be at like 90 HP, which is not somewhere I'm trying to hang out with
no,
my heroes.
not at all.
Right. Like, and kind of same thing with Last Stand. Like, I don't ever want to get that close to even needing it. I actually have come around to liking Last Stand quite a bit on certain builds for hunts. Like, it's really useful for knowing that like your priest isn't going to get wiped out, or low HP archers not going to get wiped out on a boar charge or on a body slam, something like that. Right. But you don't get those type of moves. You don't get like the super high damage moves for the most part. It's more like death by 1,000 cuts in patrols. So I don't feel like Last Stand is quite as impactful.
I hear that. I definitely see it. Giant Slayer.
Like against Box, like you come out and Mama Bach already has like double HP over you. So Giant Slayer's like
Instant effect.
right. But in this, like you're starting off most of the time with more HP than them.
Yeah, that's a
So
great point. Dags
it doesn't
makes
really
a
kick in.
even better one. Giant Slayer is going to be great for raid bosses, specifically bigger bosses. These ones are much more. It is that dungeon style where you're taking on
Right.
maybe lesser mobs, but they're still hitting you with something. But they don't have a ton of HP. It's kind of that dungeon grindy style. So I'm gonna have to agree with you, T. I'm gonna put them above the other two. Last Stand, I guess it's not bad. You do get some nice buffs, so we'll leave it as this. S tier, new tier, mythic tier, whatever you want to call it. Second Life alone atop the throne, T. In the A tier, we have Giant Slayer, Last Stand, both elites, intimidation, leadership, and efficient as well. B tier, Foresight and Toxic. C tier, Clear Vision, Fearless, Chatterbox, some of those resistance-based effects are really good for patrols right now. D tier, Headstrong, Duelist, Clutch, just sometimes not that active enough, especially in patrols. And Stalwart, just never really needed in patrols. Almost a wasted trait. So
I think that's great. I like where we landed on that actually, and wait. So now at this point, can we lock this in, and then can we do a quick comparison to see how, where we landed on differences?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Let me pull up another
Also,
one.
while you're kind of doing that, let me just mention while we're live going here, they just put out a release. Very beautiful. Beetle Dude just made an announcement on the Discord. Of the stuff they already kind of talked about, which we didn't hit on this, so let's just hit on it real
Let's hear
quick.
it, yeah.
Berserker balance update, which is nice. We won't go into detail there. Maybe we will later. We'll mention it. New potions, 5 new potions. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's fun.
That is nice.
Kind of exciting stuff. And that's pretty much it. There's a couple other small little notes here that he's got, but yeah, dude, it's a great day in the kingdom. Thank God it's Thursday. Thank God it's today. Release day.
Oh yeah.
Release day. New features out and new alpha in the AMA, man. I'm pretty hyped off of everything.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a great time. So I have the tier list up here. It's actually worked out kind of well. We're gonna pull the other one down. Hopefully this works out just as well.
Oh man, yeah, we were low on last stand.
Yeah, so we're gonna pull this one up and then scroll maybe here. So
Right. Okay. Yeah.
should be good. A little bit, little scroll. Boom. All right. Yes. So we were low on last stand. Holy shit. All right. So hopefully you guys can see most of this back home. Should be good. Stalwart. We'll just say fuck Stalwart. It's down here in F tier. It's blocked by the
who
banner,
cares?
and we need to keep the banner for no financial advice. So, Stalwart, you're just screwed. Versus the old one from August. Again, the top one up here is from August. Lower one is the new one we just created. We got much more, I don't know, spread out. We added 2 tiers. Some people like that. Some people like it consolidated. We added 2 tiers, and I think it's right. 2 traits are just a tier above, and another one, a few tiers below. So Stalwart, lowest of the low in our new list. Second Life, highest of the high, above all, in our new list as well. T, thoughts there?
I like it, man. I think I like the new list a lot, especially, looking through it specifically through the patrols lens. I think that where we landed makes a lot of sense. And it's interesting to just do the quick little comparison here, man. Just seeing we were low on Toxic. We're maybe actually a little bit higher on it now. We moved that up to a B from C. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So, it's kind of funny. We felt like we were low. It's kind of same thing last stand. We were B before on that. Now we're up to an A. Hey,
Mhm.
so we're seeing we're actually getting to play and getting to see the effects of these and how useful it could be because yeah, like I said, when they first announced last stand, didn't sound that great, but I definitely have appreciated it several times.
Oh, yes, I agree. So a few with an upgrade. Again, the top, it wasn't patrols. We only had PvP at a very, very new, in a new position for us. And we had some PvE. So pretty cool. Second Life stays above on both lists. A lot of those resistance traits kind of stay in the same spot. Some of them get a bump up. But we also spread out our tier list again. So beautiful. I like it. We'll save that later. Let's move on to active traits. Why don't we? Active traits.
Let me go on a little rant here if I can.
Yeah.
So this is really the actives is really for me, and again talking specifically about patrols. It's it's quite a bit different. Like in hunts, and also in PvP, which I don't do a ton of PvP, but I've been trying to get in more matches recently. And now we got tournaments coming, so I need to get more practice in. But anyways, back to patrols. I find that the actives, as we kind of mentioned earlier, I use a lot more. I find them a lot more useful. Part of that is because of the trying to conserve MP and not always use the different codex moves. But yeah, it definitely has shifted because there's a lot of times in hunts where I don't use them at all. And in fact, if I try to use them, maybe I lose, and I feel like I lose because I'm using a stupid tier or a stupid trait instead of, hitting them with an actual move. So I don't know. This is. Are you muted?
Oh shit! I said right. Yeah, I was muted.
Yeah.
I was letting you.
No, but No, so yeah, you gave me plenty of space there. But no, yeah, man, I just feel like the active traits are way more important for patrols. And also the other thing, I guess, that I didn't mention in that little rant too, was in patrols, unless you're just out here trying to, farm loot drops or something and using higher tiers, if you're actually, or higher level heroes, if you're actually using like the recommended levels that they're telling you, like if you're hunting with a couple level 5s, you only have one move you can do. So you're also kind of limited from that angle. So giving you a little bit more variety is great. So having
Oh yeah.
2 good actives is nice. Like I have a knight that I bridged over that's a legendary knight, great stats, level 5, and the dude's got double cleanse, and I'm like, cool.
It's almost. I mean, I guess you could make an argument for it. We're gonna get into it, but cleanse,
Yeah.
I don't love.
We could talk about the traits specifically now. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right.
So quickly running through from bottom up for active traits from August of last year. Iron Skin alone by itself in D tier. Blinding Winds, Heal, and Cleanse in the C tier. Okay. Exhaust, Deathmark, Hardened Shield, and Poison Blade in the B tier. Explosion, Stun, Daze, Critical Aim, and Speed in the A tier. 2 basic traits in the A tier. And then we had Second Wind and Resurrection in the S tier. Interesting stuff. Again, some of these have changed. We'll move over to our freshly.
Right. I got some immediate reactions to that, but I'm gonna wait till we do the comparison because I already know that this is gonna be quite a bit different just looking at that.
Okay, you're already feeling it. So
Right.
let me kind of move some stuff around here. Blinding Winds,
Right.
Cleanse out down bottom, Resurrection up top. You want to go again from the basics up, or would you prefer to go the other way?
Yeah, we can go from the basics up. And I'm trying to think real quick. I guess there have been a couple small changes too since we originally did this to how some of these works. Like, for instance, Cleanse did get a little boost where you now have a 50% chance to cleanse a second item, a second status effect.
Right, which is very cool.
Person. Right. So that's nice. Also, Explosion got a power boost. We got some Pierce, got a little higher crit chance. So that made quite a bit of a difference there. Just worth mentioning that. I don't think any of the other ones have gotten any kind of changes.
I think I agree. I think most of the others have stayed the same. So
right.
Let's roll into it.
They might maybe something minor, but those 2 are the biggest major changes for sure.
Right on. Are there any that jump right out at you, T, as the worst of the worst?
Yes.
You don't like them. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Iron Skin. I'm never using that.
Iron Skin. It's one of those where do you use it if it is like late game and you just basic attacking away and just pop it for the. I mean, it is a nice boost, but I get what you're saying. It's kind of worthless.
I maybe use it very situationally in hunts.
Okay.
But like it's very much like, oh, we're down to it, and I need this guy to just be a shield for me and keep the two heroes behind alive as long as possible.
But again, we're talking patrols, so you're putting it in D tier. We'll add a lower tier if we have to. Do you think we should right now?
I mean, maybe, because honestly, I'm not. The thing is, and it wastes a turn. Like, just right off the bat, you're sacrificing a turn for slightly better defense. But like, I'm trying to kill them as quickly as I can. Right. Like it's not doing anything for me. I don't ever want to use it. The only time I'm maybe using it is exactly like I said, but I'm probably never getting to that situation in patrols. Like, hopefully.
Right.
I'm just staying on the offensive. So
you would hope so, yes. I'm putting a few of these in there just so people back home can see them because the chart gets a little funky. Let's talk heal and cleanse off the rip here. I'm putting them, just here just for show. Cleanse, again, has that boost you're talking. You get a free cleanse with the ability, obviously, and then you get a chance at a 50% to cleanse again. So,
again, patrol specific, I actually like cleanse quite a bit better.
Yeah, me too.
Because your battle budget's pretty low. I sometimes like say that I'm playing against those little Octa plus guys, the Octa drivers or whatever they're called, Octa pilots. They if they blind me, sometimes if it's low, like I don't want to waste it. I might just take a couple swings at it. But if I have that double cleanse night, I'm like, screw it, man. I'm gonna cleanse this, get this blind off me. What am I doing here?
Right.
So yeah, I find in hunts or PvP, I'm bringing potions to handle all of that. But with all the different status effects that you might see from all the variety of enemies here, I'm not bringing potions for every different thing. You don't have really the space for it. And I'm honestly trying not to use potions too, because I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible. So I kind of like cleanse a little bit better. I'm cool with that saying C here, like you have it.
You like it in C? Okay.
I do. I do.
Perfect. I agree. And, you know, I don't really have anything else to add on top of that. I think it's great. It's very situational, but it's very, very helpful when you need it. So beautiful stuff. And the extra chance is just a great boost. Heal,
Right.
we'll talk about kind of coinciding with it. It kind of works out well here. Same alley, you know, a great resource management tool.
Right.
Very, very strong on a, you know, slightly higher HP, of course. You get a little bigger effect. I'm cool with it somewhere in this, probably C as well. I think it's great utility.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think C makes a lot of sense here. I like to have it as just, if, say you're on that second turn, you're about to go into turn 3, and you need to just get your guys a little bit more healed up, but you don't want to waste any mana on your priest, or because you're trying to recharge that, or, whatever. Maybe you didn't bring a priest. It's nice to have that heal to get off, and then you get your 20% back to on the next stage, and you might be back to full health there. So I like heal always. It's not my favorite, again, because there are times where I don't use it if I don't take shots. I'm not going to heal just to heal,
Right.
C.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, for sure. But it almost, when I'm thinking about it at the end there, you mentioned, getting a heal before you finish a round and get that 20%. You can stall a turn if you're not taking that much damage, get a heal in, and get even closer to full, which is a great point.
Right.
So honestly, I don't know if you're okay with it. I'm going to put it above cleanse. Because longevity patrols wise, I guess cleanse is good for in battle, but
Same tier.
heal. But
Right.
you know what I mean? You kind of have that almost every round you could get a benefit out of it. Versus cleanse, you might not every round, I'd say. I
Right.
don't know. What do you think?
No, yes, keep them same tier.
Same
I
tier,
like that,
just
flipping 'em.
above cleanse. Let's move into the other basics. We got 5 left. Speed is an interesting one. Poison Blade, Critical Aim, Blinding Winds, Death Mark. What do you want to start with?
I'll stay away from the one that's going to be most controversial. Maybe let's go with some layups here. I actually really like Death Mark, and Critical Aim, and Blinding Winds. All is kind of B tier. Well, I can make an argument. Well, yeah, B tier for Blinding Winds. And honestly,
I'm definitely cool with Blinding Winds. I'm thinking about some of these. So Death Mark and Critical Aim, good
and I
damage.
can make my argument here.
Death Mark,
Right.
to me, I don't get the effect enough, but I'm okay with it in B. I do think Blinding Winds is slightly above these in B, but Critical Aim, I get the crit a lot, which I like, and it does a lot of damage, but go on.
So Death Mark is 1.2 power on your attack, whereas Blinding Winds is just 1, Critical Aim is just 1, Poison Blade is just 1. So with Death Mark, it is a little bit more powerful. I think I mentioned this last time. I have several priests that are double Death Mark priest, and they're amazing, dude. It's great, because you actually deal a decent amount of damage with that. And so with those priests, I come out and I use Death Mark twice, and I get 1 heal in, and then I'm on to the next round. And that's kind of that. It's beautiful.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so I like the Death Mark, and then also you're right. It doesn't feel like you hit the hitting them with that additional damage as often as you should. But that's to me, that's kind of a side effect. Really, I'm getting a better than basic attack for free to use one time. So I like that.
That's
right.
true. That's true. I like that. I love the crit that you give with Critical Aim. Death Mark does have a high damage rate. That's a good point. What would be your order if you had to, we might get more in the B tier, but amongst these 3, we'll go with yours.
Right. Honestly, I'd say here, and it kind of depends a little bit on build. I would say Blinding Winds actually last on
Okay.
this of these three. And I'd put Blinding Winds first for hunts, actually, because
Right.
if you landed
Blind
on
is big.
Bach, landed on Mama, Bach, or Boar, and Blinding was huge. But in this, they don't deal as much, like we said, it doesn't deal as much damage, not as critical.
Right. I'm
So
with
I
that.
would probably put on, like I said, on my priest, I would much rather have death mark than critical aim because I'm not gonna do another damage. But like I have a warrior that I have crit aim on, and it's a beautiful thing because it allows me to attack the back line on my first turn with crit aim. Then I get 2 turns with crit. I'll hit the gladiator strike, and then I'll whirly bird it, or maybe vice versa with my 2. And if you crit on one of those, it's beautiful. So
Mm-hmm.
I really do like the crit on a warrior or on a archer. A crit aim is really nice. Death mark on like a knight or a priest or seer. So kind of depends on class for me there, but I like them both a lot,
I'm
obviously.
with it. I'm with it. So I'm gonna guess the one that you're gonna call a controversial of the remaining basics. We have Poison Blade and we have Speed. Is that right? Poison Blade basic?
Poison Blade is basic and speed. Those
Okay,
are,
those are both.
yes, those are our 2 remaining basics. And honestly, I might be a little controversial on both these. Feel free to disagree with me. And in
Okay.
fact, shout out Renpin jumping out here in the chat saying Poison Blade's so helpful. I'm going to immediately say, no, I don't really care that much for it. Like, it's all right, but a lot of times, I'm going to kill him before the poison ramps.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. So this one would go for me personally. This one would go for PvP as well as patrols. I don't like low level poison because of what you're saying. The tick does not get there fast enough. I'm sure maybe a few games out of 10. You might, with a priest especially, maybe 2 supports, whatever you may have, you might get good work out of the poison if it lasts long enough. But if there's any potions in the gameplay, if there's a cleanse even, most people are taking that poison away before it even gets the chance. But especially at low level, dude, I don't think it's great. I'm okay with putting, let's take a look, heal, cleanse. I'm honestly okay with putting it in C because it is good
yeah.
damage. It's okay damage.
Fine damage.
You know,
But yeah, I mean, I'd much rather blind them than get them than poison them.
yeah. The poison damage, like the after effect, the actual effect poison damage that you're going to get per tick, I don't think is that great, but it is a base level, maybe 50 damage, whatever the number may be.
Right.
So you get that little bit. Are you okay with leaving it in C? I'd even put it behind these guys. I don't think it's that great
Right.
of value.
I agree, and then I think that's good. We can leave that there, and this is going to be the one that I was most controversial on. But
I do like Renpen's strategy though. Before we move off the poison strategy,
okay, yeah,
this
go
will be
ahead.
the last poison subject for us. Um, for Ren's low level patrols,
Right.
she uses Poison Blade. It's a lifesaver. Puts it on the back row, and by the time she finishes the first 2, the back row might be dead. Maybe that's
Right.
true. Maybe I
I
have.
normally take out the back row first, to be honest with you. With my setup, it typically works out that way. But I hear you, like, because I do have like a blinding winds, and I'll do the same thing where I put blinding winds in the back row, and then I just start hammering away at the front guy, and
Right.
So
Right.
right, it's fine, it's good. It's not the worst.
Yeah,
It's C,
not the
probably
worst. It's
C.
C. It is in our mid tier, but slightly below average for us personally. Dewey War, what's good, bro? And he says poison is great in heal comps. I definitely agree. Again, we're
I'm
doing our tier
I'm
list today. If you guys are just popping in,
I'm
for
about to get the chat
patrol.
fired up here, bro. I'm just telling you,
Oh
like
boy,
I don't like speed. Like let me
really?
get to it. I think okay, actually, I like speed a lot for PvP,
Okay.
but for me in this setup with patrols, it's not really doing much for me. It really isn't.
Okay.
Okay, and hear me out. Here's like if I'm using speed and I have a couple of heroes that I actually am putting through patrols with speed, so I'm actively doing this, and this is my experience, right? It's okay on an archer. I have a high enough level archer where I can use the rapid shot, but you have a cooldown there. So I'll open up with multi-shot, rapid shot, then do speed, multi-shot, and then maybe they're dead. If not, rapid shot, finish them off. And that's kind of, the archer for that. That's kind of how I move with that archer. But the speed's really not doing much for me other than just clearing to where I get to rapid shot quicker in that situation.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, I also have a speed warrior, and I do use the speed on the warrior because I have an axe on him. It's a little bit slower. And I normally open up with speed, then crit aim, and then I'll throw gladiator strike, and then I'll do the whirlwind, and that normally is the end of the match there. So I do use speed, right? But when I look at it, it's really not doing much for me because I'm getting the same amount of turns in. Like since I'm having to sacrifice that initial turn, and I know you get half of a turn back, you get half your initiative back, but it normally still puts you, like if you're going to open up first, the very first move you're going to do speed, it puts you behind them. Like most of the time you'll be in front and then you're putting behind. So I never want to use it first because I want to attack first move. Like to me, that puts me behind the 8 ball. So to me, like it's not that great. It just
I feel you. We do have, this was completely coincidence too. I have this patrol I loaded up for the music. I don't even know if the music is playing anymore. We got 2 chances of speed, T. So we're going to just take a look at how I would play speed. Because I do have it. And I love speed. So like hearing this is crazy. And I see chat and a lot of people are agreeing.
I'm surprised. I thought I was going to get a lot of hate, but especially Germ out here saying speed doesn't matter. Whenever I know from conversations with him that he specifically, he summons all his guys with swiftness, with lesser swiftness stones because he wants the speed. So
right.
I'm shocked to hear him say that in the comments.
So looking at our time graph here, nobody got to move yet. This is my first turn. Seer's pretty fast. It's right behind the this archer here. Berserker's really slow, but both of them have speed. So we're gonna kind of get an impact. The Berserker backline and this kind of faster Seer both have speed. These are actually both my Gen Zeros, so very cool. But we're gonna get a first-hand impression, and I'll take a look at their speed too. So speed reads 20% haste for 30 ticks, and this is why I disagree. You gain 500 initiative, and we're gonna show it. So,
okay, you say that, but you kind of just lose 500 initiative because
yes, I get when you're saying it, I get it, but I'm just gonna take a look here. So, Hunter's Mark, we'll just do it. Damn, they resist 2 of them. So here's my first guy up. So speed, let's check it's just speed stat. We're gonna kind of just do a big test run here. 101.5 versus my Berserker, who's 77.6. So, 25 almost roughly speed advantage to my Seer. Both are going to use speed though, 20% haste. So let's see. It's going to show us too before. I get to go still before these guys. Like, so nothing is lost in this circumstance. I understand in others it might be different. But oftentimes when I do this and you get that initiative back, and look, okay.
What level are these heroes?
So before I'm back here, these are 15. But PvP, you can still see that sometimes, bro. I'm telling you, I like speed. So here,
no, I'm with you.
We're going just real quick. We're going time bar here. So I'm still behind the archer. Adding speed, we're still behind it again at turn 3, or second turn after this one. Here I leapfrog them here. I leapfrog him there, and I don't know if that's accurate. Maybe it is. But I don't leapfrog them there, so let's see. That doesn't make sense. Why would I not leapfrog?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, right now you're doing it with guys that are like 6 levels above what you're supposed to be playing with. If you play speed with ones that are like the same level, you don't ever jump. Like you just don't.
You guys might have just proved me right, or proved me wrong the way I'm looking at it. Because okay, we jumped them, we got to go there.
Right.
But it stops fast. It's 26. I didn't realize how fast those ticks go. So realistically, we'd go here, and then it's almost gone after that. So it is circumstantial. I'm with you. Late game, I don't know. Is it even worth it? Especially maybe when the time bar, widens a little bit. If you get a slower two with, late in the game.
Again, if we're talking hunts, I like throwing speed at certain times, like if I know wild charge about to hit or something like that, or eggs about to pop out. There's times where I like throwing speed and getting maybe an extra turn in there. Um, if we're talking PvP, even more so, I like speed actually. I'm kind of there with you where I think in PvP it's a pretty clutch move, especially if you throw it in the right situation. Now, if we're talking patrols, I don't. It's not doing much for me, bro. It's not doing much for me. It's not really getting me an extra turn. Normally, I can get through them so quick that it doesn't matter. Like normally 4 turns, 5 turns, and I got them wiped out unless you get one of the like rare boss, um, heroes. Then it might be 6 turns, something like that, 7 turns. But normally they're pretty quick. Like I don't need speed. It's just not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
I put a D.
Can you still see my screen on your end?
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect. Because this Berserker's got to go up, and I don't think this makes sense. All right, so watch this. So I'm going here. I'm ahead of, just take a look at the bar. My next move is in between these folks. All up in this gap. This is... Yeah, okay, so he'll go, then these guys come again, then I'm right here. Bald, cold, rumble pike, in between the archer and the seer within this gap. Watch when I use speed, though. So I get the initiative. It pushes me here. Dude, it moves me back. It doesn't really make sense.
We're finding bugs here.
I mean, I lose the initiative, then I go again.
Right.
But I don't... I think you guys are almost proving your point here live. Like, especially on a slow hero, it's not very good, bro. That initiative lost is not very good. Bro... You've convinced me it's at least below C here. Where do you think it is?
I want to put a D. I put a D.
It's D, I feel like. I don't like it. Maybe we should test it another day when we go back and revisit our PvP tier list and have an example like that so we can kind of get a feel for it then. Because in patrols, bro, I mean, these are higher level heroes, and it looks ass. I'm not going to
lie. Right. It's not good, bro.
You convinced me. Well played. I like it. All right, so let's move into the advanced tier. We have Explosion, Exhaust, Daze, and Hardened Shield. Hardened Shield, we'll start there. Kind of reminds me of Iron Skin. Is it better to you? Where do you think it belongs?
Well, I mean, we put it F. We put it D.
F tier.
I same thing. I actually have a Hardened Shield warrior that I use in patrols. I don't ever use it. Like, it's just not happening.
Okay, I respect it. You know, I play. It's crazy because we do play the game very different. I'm noticing. Like this, is this the Berserker with it? It is. So this one. Even it's Iron Skin. It's not even Hardened Shield. When I play, I'll drop speed early because I'm mentally thinking speed gives me such a great boost. Looking at it doesn't. To be honest, I'm a hater of it now. And then I'll pop Iron Skin. So before I go Berserk, I have those buffs, kind of. That's my mentality. But looking at it a little deeper, bro, I'm hating my gameplay here.
I'm not saying that you're wrong because you might be right. I really don't know. I don't have like any numbers, but I just know the feel for me is if I'm not getting moves in quick, like if I'm not attacking and putting pressure, especially PvP, like you need to be applying the pressure to them, bringing it to making them react to you. Making them use potions to heal and not attack you. So kind of it's the same thing in patrols. Obviously, there's different factors because you got, like we've talked about, you got different enemies that are giving you different status effects or this or that. But yeah, to me, I don't want to really play defensive. Like it's not doing anything for me. I'm not using it.
I respect it, bro. All right, so we'll leave Hardened Shield in F tier. I'm with it. I understand it. Exhaust, Daze, Explosion. Where do you want to start from these three?
So let's go Explosion.
Yeah.
And I will admit I have not used Explosion in patrols. I have used it plenty in hunts, even since the change. And it's situational because of the channel.
It is better though, correct?
It is better, and I like it. I like it more now. I use it more now in hunts, but I don't know. I would maybe say B. The one thing I do like about it is doing all enemy attack is really nice.
Yeah.
So
A little bit of
the
AoE.
this channel sucks. There's not too many things that are going to interrupt your channel in there, so that's okay. And patrols, because that's always a concern. In hunts, I feel like you get interrupted on your channel all the time. So
All the time, bro.
yeah, I feel like B is good. I like B, and maybe at the top of B since it does damage to
It's a lot of
all.
damage. So we'll leave it
Right,
at the top of B. I'm with you there. For now.
right,
Exhaust in days. I love
right.
exhaust. I think the chance is actually pretty solid. It's relatively low though. What is it, 50%? But exhaust is such a
So
big effect, bro.
right,
If you hit it.
exhaust and days both give you 1.2 power attacks, which is the same as death mark. We like that. You have 50% chance of exhaust, and you get 70% chance at days. So a little higher chance at days than exhaust, but exhaust is a bigger hit. I like both of these a lot. I actually have exhaust and days. I use them in hunts. I'd put them A tier.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm with it. I like them. I like them a lot. The effect that comes with them is good. The damage is great. A daze stops some
right.
channels. There's a lot of channels.
I
Exhaust,
like
you
to
have
just
to.
use it right off the rip, bro. Right off the rip,
Oh, you do.
because
Slow them
because
too.
especially like if again, kind of talking about how I'm trying to stage things up, I can normally daze somebody before they get that first turn, and then knock them out before they get a turn.
Right on. It's a good call. What's good, Noni? Let's finish this up, baby. We got 3 more left. We got 2 elites and 1 exalted, transcendent, whatever it is right now. Stun,
Right.
second wind. We'll start in the elite tier.
Here we
Stun,
go. Good or bad? Here we go.
gotta
Good or bad?
be. I'm gonna start with the good. We'll get some maybe bad in the middle, and then we'll finish with a great one. Stun, gotta be S tier for me, bro. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Do you disagree?
Yes. Agreed.
So
Stun is
big.
the same. Okay, first off, it's 1.4 power, so you
Whew.
get more of a power attack. And I have a mythic knight with stun that I use level 6. I'm grinding in patrols right now, and I use stun first turn. Exact same thing. I'm trying to hit them, stun them, skip that first turn, wipe them out before they even get a chance to do any damage on me. And most of the time, it works. It's beautiful.
Love it. Love it for sure. All right, let's move to second win. What's your thoughts, bro?
I have a warrior, same thing, level 6 warrior, second wind. I'm rarely using it. But here's what I'll say. It is nice. So heal, you actually second one's more circumstantial because you only get back whatever half of whatever you're missing.
Yeah.
So
You
if you
have
don't
to
get
be
hit
low.
that much, if that hero that has second wind doesn't hit that much, then popping second wind isn't really doing much for you,
Good point.
right? Whereas like heal is the same heal no matter what your, if you're missing 100 HP versus 200, you're going to get the same heal. So it's less circumstantial, but you do get a little bit of heal for everybody. But again, I'm not really using it. I'm gonna maybe put it down there, maybe a top of C, to be honest with you.
Top of C, really.
For me, yeah,
Interesting.
like
I like it. Circumstantial for sure. I agree. Um, yeah, you really have to wait for a tank to be low.
right,
And, you don't get as much use out of it if your other heroes aren't low as well. There's been
right,
times where I pass on the second wind to take a potion instead because only one hero is low, and then you save it because you're like, all right, well, I don't want to waste the team aspect of it. So I'm with
right,
you there. I'll leave it C. I'm okay with that.
right. Or
Resurrection. Yep.
I've had what last thought on that. I've had like my warrior that has second wind, and they're maybe missing 150 HP on it, and the other one, my other two heroes are pretty much full health. Like where once we get the recharge on the next turn, they're going to be full health. So I'm going to actually not use second wind, and I'm going to go for a priest heal to get him back up to full health. Because if I use second wind, he's only getting half of that 150 back. Like I'm using a turn for 75 health. That's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. No effect for the team. I'm with you there, bro.
Right.
All right, so C tier for second wind. Last one, definitely not least, Resurrection, Exalted. Where does it lie? I'm instantly saying S. What are you thinking?
Okay, I don't have a resurrection here, so I can't speak from experience, but I'm going S. Honestly, I'd put it under stun though, because again, stun I'm gonna do every time coming out, probably first move, second move. Resurrection, I might not need it.
I
Like
see the
if
logic there, bro. Because again, you reset these traits every round. You're getting
right,
3 stuns no matter what. You might be lucky if you
right,
get 1 resurrection. You know, you might be
right,
happy, I guess, if you will.
right. I mean, from that argument, I would honestly say put it down to A tier underneath exhausting days
I'm with it because those are again ones you're using every time.
every
Even these
time,
ones in B, I'll take a quick second to shout out. Critical aim, blinding winds, death mark, maybe even poison blade. You're using every game.
every time. Right.
So if we were going off that, this tier list might look a little different. But overall aspect and dynamic and
Look,
comeback
you
aspect
can't.
as well included. Resurrection,
There
I
have
think
been a
is
time or two where things get away from me, and one of my heroes dies, and I haven't. Like, I've never actually lost patrol. Don't get me wrong. Well, I have whenever I try to go level up too high. If you
I've
try to
tried
take
I've tried some low combos and I've failed.
right, I failed, but those were ones I kind of knew was going to be iffy, right? But taking just a regular team in and playing it safe, you don't really lose. You're not really too much at risk, so that's why resurrection isn't that big of a play. But you can get, there's times where you get three of the rare heroes or rare enemies against you, and they can be a bit of a bitch,
Oh yeah.
So you can't say resurrection. Like, you got to give it its proper place because it is very powerful to have that as an option. But the fact that you're not going to really use it that often just knocks it down.
I'd have to agree, bro. So we got them here. Let's compare and contrast. I already see some big differences,
Big,
bro.
yeah.
Let me just organize this a little better so we can see everything. All right, just minimize this just a bit. Boom.
Stun on the come up.
All right, so straight off the bat, do you see what I see with second win dropping from S tier? I kind of did it backwards, but the bottom is the old one now.
Right.
This top one is the new one for us. Patrols based on the top, PvE and PvP early days only on the bottom. So second win falls all the way down to C tier T. What's your thoughts, bro?
I mean, I think that makes sense. You're not really using it. It's not super helpful in the setup. It's a lifesaver. I mean, there's definitely times in hunts where I'll, you get wiped out with the body slam by Mama Bach, and you're like, oh, thank God I got the second wind right here to recharge. But that's not happening. You're not getting hit by those big, stunning hits that hit all of your, all of your heroes at one time in patrols. So
Right on,
yeah,
bro. Anything
it's
else?
different.
Yeah, anything else stick out at you? I do see previously we kind of did give a boost to Hardened Shield versus Iron Skin. It was 2 tiers above. Now it falls all the way down in combination with Iron Skin in the F tier. Okay, we added it here as well.
We were low on blinding winds to start. We've come up on that.
Yeah.
Definitely seen, and again, I would maybe even put blinding tiers A tier if we were talking hunts, if this was a hunt ranking.
Yeah. But I will say, low-level PvP, I don't have as much patrols, but I have a good bit of low-level PvP. Blind is big because you don't have that dexterity. So it does kind of give a big effect, but you got to hit the blind as well. So I like where we have it, but we did boost it up. That's interesting to see. Resurrection fell, actually, 1 tier down to A tier. Stun got the boost up. So
Speed, big faller too, man.
Speed fell a lot. A to D tier. Heal and cleanse went up a tier. They kind of coincide. I think we'll always kind of combo package them.
Right.
But other than that, bro, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, T. We have held these people for a little over an hour. Thank God it's Thursday. Thank God all you guys are with us here today, bro. It's been a great week in the kingdom. And we got more features on the way, we're hearing. I'm excited about tournaments, hoping to bring you guys more alpha. We'll talk more about some, nitty-gritty of tournaments next week when we got a little more time.
Right.
But
I think we'll get a little more information from that.
yeah,
we got a big, dude, again, man, closing thoughts here. I guess I'll just kind of go because I feel like that's where you're taking us, right?
Yeah,
So
unless you had anything else you wanted to bring up.
no, I don't have anything. I do have some closing thoughts here, and then I'll
For
let
sure.
you sign us off here. But really, man, it's been impressive. We're at the end of January now, and you know, it feels like every week of 2025 so far, the team has been dropping different heat on us, man. We got patrols out, and
Yeah.
then they immediately followed that up by telling us, "Hey, we got 6 months of tournaments coming." We don't
Ooh.
have much details on that yet, but that was really announced today. So I'm sure we'll probably have more to talk about next week. I'm sure there'll be a lot of AMA questions next week, on all things tournaments. That's exciting, and just I know last week I loved having Trade back, and I think he'll be back with us next week. People, he's planning on doing every other, and we're going to try to hold him to that. No pressure, but love having him. And I know we got into the charts a little bit, and I don't want to get into that too much, but obviously glancing at it real quick, it doesn't take somebody with trades knowledge to look at the charts and say it's not looking great.
Right.
Right? We're being real honest with each other here. It's not looking great. Jewel prices are at an all-time low, but the team is not, and they are producing at what feels like an all-time high, man.
Right on.
It feels like they're really giving us a lot of great new things that are coming, and it's got me excited. So I know this week I at times have dealt with a little bit of like, are we going to make it? And really hearing that, seeing patrols and hearing these tournaments are coming, and all of this kind of stuff they got down the pipeline, and just hearing how committed they are to the vision of the game too. It really does have me excited and bullish for the project. So stick with it, people. That's kind of my message out there to the rest of the community. I know I've heard others with a little bit of negative sentiment of times recently, but I think the light is finally, at the end of the tunnel, we're finally starting to see it. I think these tournaments, are going to be big. 2 a day, 6 months straight.
Ooh.
Let's get
It's gonna be fun, bro. And again, they're not just only. I know sometimes we get on here and we talk very competitive, and we like that aspect of the game, but they're not just only targeting those people. They very much stress, the more casual players who just take part in the ecosystem. Sometimes that's all it's about. And they have some funding that I don't know if it's already released. I don't know if they have plans on it. I know some of it is included in tournaments, but they have some funding devoted to the ecosystem. So from Metis to accomplish these feats like patrols, like tournaments, and other things. So just stay active, stay busy in the ecosystem a little bit here and there if you don't got all the time in the world, but staying active and potentially just involved in the ecosystem, I think will be potentially good for you. And we'll see. Again, we've talked about it kind of previously in certain, landscapes, but the Jewel token, we all see it. Trade and T Heat, like you just said, T. We talk about it honestly with you guys, and it is what it is. Maybe it's a working token. Maybe it has life up to $1. Who knows, bro? But there are opportunities within the ecosystem, like we always try to talk about. Despite the Jewel token or where it may seem. Altcoins overall, though, at a macro stance, not doing great. I'll be honest with you.
It ain't alt season, bro. We haven't had it yet.
It's not yet. And I saw a very bullish chart today. I wish I had it to kind of put some bullish optimism at the end of this. But the chart that showcased, the up only, and it was over a 12-year time frame. It is kind of did these periods of showcasing the alt seasons at previous years, and I don't think we've had alt season. And alt season is where shit gets crazy, where it gets batty, bro. So, that dollar mark that sometimes Trade talks about a lot with Jewel. It's definitely not impossible. We'll have to see what's to come. So, damn, I didn't.
But I'll say this, bro. We're definitely, it's coming. We're definitely shaking out any of the paper hands though right now. Or I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah.
People that are still riding with DFK are the ones that I hope are going to continue to. I don't think I know we've lost some, even in the jewelers. I won't name any names, but there's a couple of people I'm sure you can think of off the top of your head too that hadn't been with us in the past couple of months. Maybe we'll see him back. I don't know. I haven't ever heard of certain people selling out of certain really, high, rare, nice, mythic heroes. We had some legends out there that have just kind of disappeared. So it's going to be interesting now with tournaments actually being around. And, like you said, there's some allocation behind there. We'll get more details. They said there's going to be buy-ins, and some of the buy-ins would go, obviously towards the winner. But I'm sure that there also will be just money put up by the team, by Metis, part of that rewards fund. So it's here. We're going to know more about it. Hopefully next week we'll talk more about it in detail. But yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting time once that happens. We're going to see who's really about it, man. Who's
Yeah.
about it.
I'm nervous, bro. I'm ready. I'm eager, but I know there's some big players within this ecosystem. I've been training, bro, on some low key hunts though, or low key bouts with some jewelers and T. We're gonna have to get some practice in. We're gonna have to get some reps in, bro. PvP's soon. I'll give one more hint and teaser and optimistic thought. Go rewatch the AMA because there's a lot of intricate things. I think Dreamer drops specifically when he speaks. He says something, and I don't know how true this is, but it made me feel like tournaments will be here by or on the Ethereum Denver, ETH Denver event, which is February 23rd. So that's what I'm thinking right now, bro. Am I reading too much into things? Maybe. But
they've been dropping heat on us.
They've been
They've
dropping
been doing
heat.
it.
They've been cooking in the kitchen, so I'm
Are
excited.
they jewelers, bro? Because they've stayed hot this year.
They might be 2025 DeFi. I mean, it's only right. Jewelers, DeFi Kingdom. You know what I mean? So beautiful stuff. That just about does it for this week's episode. We'll be back next Thursday, hopefully, with a trio here, including Trade. We have T Heat here as always. For T Heat, my name's Mega. This is the Jewelers Crypto Guild. Thank God it's Thursday, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Peace.